And I thank you in advance for liking the video. And I will be taking your live calls. The radio show will begin in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to go over this Marco Rubio story in a little more detail because I think this is so. When I woke up this morning, first thing I do when I wake up is I grab my iPhone, and the first thing I saw was this. Now, I was asleep. I was still half asleep. I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on? And then, boom, it clicked because right next to the image are all these images of Maduro. And I said, holy smokes. What an amazing move by Marco Rubio. Who would even have thought of doing something like this? You know who would have thought of it? No one. There is no one who would have thought of doing what Marco Rubio did here. And, and there's a story behind this tracksuit. And the story behind the tracksuit, I hope we get that story because it's got to be a good story. I mean, he didn't just have it. At some point, he went out and got it. And then there was some discussion in regards to him putting the tracksuit on Air Force One and taking this photograph and posting it. And they knew, Marco Rubio and the president, they knew exactly what they were doing here. And they wanted this photo to be viral around the world before they landed in China. So that China knows America is back. We're back. You're a nobody. You have no influence. All that money that you've used to buy American politicians and elected officials all these years was a waste. The party's over. America's back. And China's out. And by the way, you're no longer welcome in our hemisphere. Stick to your country in China. That's it. FAFO. FAFO. That's what that tracksuit's all about. All right, now we got a little less than a minute until the radio show starts. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, and I'd certainly love to hear your thoughts on all of this. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call, no matter where you're tuned in from. And in about 30 seconds, the radio show will start. I'm going to open the radio show. We'll get into the tracksuit and your calls. Oh my goodness! I mean, how. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Does that tracksuit on Marco Rubio make you proud of Marco Rubio? What a boss move. All right, here we go. 10 seconds, and then we'll be live, so hang in there. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show that you're tuned into. Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. The president is on his way to China, and the president of the United States and Marco Rubio, before they even get to China, have turned the world upside down yet again with just a simple photograph. The photograph heard round the world. It's going viral right now, sending the strongest message to China that they've ever been given. And the message that was sent, I'll tell you what the president and Marco Rubio did on board Air Force One, but the message was FAFO. I got to say it slow so I don't say the word. FAFO. That's the message. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, let me explain it to you. And, I woke up this morning. First thing I do, and you guys probably do the same thing. I'm in bed. I reach over and grab my iPhone and immediately look for, what the top headlines are. I can't wait. Then I get in the shower. And when I saw what I saw of Marco Rubio, I was so excited. Marco Rubio has posted a photograph of himself on board Air Force One, wearing a Nike tracksuit that I hope I can get. These are probably sold out I was so upset I missed out on the Trump shoes. I'm in the car, they go live, in like 10 seconds they sold out. But Marco Rubio, he took a picture of himself, posted it on Air Force One, posted it on X. It's gone viral, and it's him wearing a Nike tracksuit, which is very unusual because cabinet officials, especially a senior cabinet official like the Secretary of State, usually wear suits. They don't want you to see them out of a suit. So what's the tracksuit? What's going on? Marco Rubio took a picture of himself wearing the exact same tracksuit, same Nike tracksuit, exact same one that Maduro was wearing in that photograph when Marco and the president and Pete Hegseth went to Venezuela and captured Maduro during the Maduro raid. And at first thought, you might think, so what? What's the big deal here? Who cares? He's wearing the Maduro tracksuit. This is one of the biggest boss moves I've ever seen come out of either of the two Trump administrations. This is the biggest boss move I have ever seen with a Secretary of State. I challenge you to give me, when I explain to you what's going on here, if you don't already know, we do have people in this audience who are liberally impaired, so I apologize. I got to get the crayons and the fat pencils out from time to time for the liberally impaired people in the audience, because this is such a great moment. I even want the liberally impaired to understand the significance of what the great Marco Rubio did with this Nike tracksuit photo. That seems so trivial if you're a liberal-minded person, but it was absolutely amazing. I challenge you to give me any boss moves made by any other secretaries of state. And can we just stick to like my lifetime? From the 70s till now. I don't want to hear anything about some Secretary of State in 1882. In our lifetime, in my lifetime, in your lifetime, that we can all remember so we can experience. But with this tracksuit photo, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phones in a bit. What this tracksuit that Marco Rubio is wearing symbolizes, it's a message to China. The message is, of course, got to say it slow. Don't want to pull a Neil Rogers. Remember that? Oh my goodness, I caught that live. Did any of you catch that live? F-A-F-O. That's what the message is. And it's much more detailed than that. The Marco Rubio Maduro Nike tracksuit is a message to China that America is back. China, you are out. You're a third world country. You've got some old aircraft carrier that you bought from the Soviet Union that's useless. You're not a world power. And all the diamonds that you gave to Hunter Biden and all the monies that you've used to buy off American elected officials, it was a waste because we're back. You're out. You've been toying around with taking Taiwan forever and a day. We were under attack by Venezuela. We just went and took it. It's ours. It's a client state. We conquered Venezuela. We're about to finish off the Islamic lunatic leaders of Iran, and Cuba's next. China, you're out. You're a nobody. You're a never been. Your influence, power, and significance has been an illusion. America's back. You're not welcome in our hemisphere. That's right. You're out. America is the leader of the world. Not just the free world, the world. That's right. And F-A-F-O. That's right. And, America's been absent from our proper place in the world, giving stability and supporting and spreading freedom around the world, because we've had some very bad presidents. This senile old coot that takes bribes, Joe Biden, with the auto pen. Biden, of course, we had Obama, who just did incredibly destructive things. George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, war criminals lying about WMD so they could enrich their military-industrial complex donors. Bill Clinton, an insignificant presidency. The only thing people remember about those 8 years is Monica Lewinsky and other sex stuff, right? I mean, the United States has been absent from a leadership position on the world stage for decades, decades. And this idea that China is equal to the United States and they're a foe and all this is just all hype, smoke and mirrors, a Hollywood set. The Hollywood set, it's only got a front and a side. There's no back. There's nothing inside. It's all fake. That's what China's been. And that tracksuit, it's got to already be, if it's not sold out now, it'll be sold out by the end of the morning, and in the pre-show on YouTube, which you guys should all watch me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. I start the show early every day. I've got my afternoon and weekend shows that are just like this. I take the live calls and everything. But I was talking in the pre-show on YouTube this morning that this Nike tracksuit is going to be the most sought after men's fashion for Generation X, because Marco's Gen X, since Frankie Says, the We Are the World sweatshirt, and of course, the one I've always wanted and never had, the Mumford Phys Ed sweatshirt. Yeah, so if you guys out there remember Mumford Phys Ed, what's that from? Anybody know? Mm-hmm. And I'm serious about this. It is, and when I say that Marco Rubio is the most incredible Secretary of State that the United States has ever had, I challenge you, call me and give me an example of a Secretary of State in our lifetime so that we can have experienced it, that has done great things for the United States and the American people that would equal the greatness that we've gotten from Marco Rubio. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Are you in pain? Then go see Dr. Appleton today, this morning. With Dr. Appleton, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are always welcome. And oh yeah, the consultation, it's free. His robotic laser wave pain treatment, it works, guys. The first time he treated me, it's going on 4 years now. I remember it was it'll be 4 years in either July or August. It'll be 4 years since Dr. Appleton treated me the first time, and he's rid me of pain 7 times. He gave me my life back. All the pains I had were just terrible, but the arthritis pain, that was the one that out of all of them was amazing to me. I had this pain in my finger. It was bad. I tried everything. I had my wife I was putting creams on it. I took some pain medication. My wife was, and it just wouldn't go. So I went to see Dr. Appleton, and it was the kind of pain, it felt like electricity, like shocks of electricity going through my fingers is what the arthritis felt like. And I didn't know it was arthritis. I thought I jammed my finger, like you do when you play basketball. And I went in to Dr. Appleton, and I said, Doc, I am in so much pain. And he examined me, and he said, you've got arthritis. I said to Dr. Appleton, I said, that's it. I'm done. There's a notification. Who's at my door? Oh, all right. We'll talk about Sloman's later. Who's at my door? Oh, Amazon. All right. Leave the package there, man. And when Dr. Appleton told me I had arthritis, I was devastated because I said, Doc, I said, I'm done. Because I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents would have arthritis in their hands, and then their knuckles were huge. They were in pain. Their hands were not even usable. And Dr. Appleton says, don't worry. The laser treats arthritis. I said, this is the worst pain. It is so bad. I'm almost in tears. And he said, does it feel like electricity? I said, yes. Yeah, he said, he says, don't worry. Sure enough, he rid me of all my arthritis pain. Nothing. I've got no arthritis pain. It's gone. Gone. And I've talked to other listeners who have been treated for arthritis as well in other parts of their body. including one of our listeners that goes on the cruises in his neck. Oh my goodness. Gone. It works. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Guys, we'll be back in 1 minute. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. And you're all welcome to call in. Okay, hold on. I got to. All right, hold on. Hang in there, guys. The tracksuit that changed the world. Okay, 15 seconds. Stand by. Call us on hold. Hang in there. We'll go to the phones. All right, we're back talking about the Marco Rubio tracksuit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Cameron, from Florida.
Hey, what's up, Cameron?
Oh, what's up? I see the topic. What is it? Trump visiting China, right?
That's right, putting China in its proper place in the world, an insignificant third world country.
Yeah, but you can, yeah, I guess it's insignificant, but to me, the main thing that's happening right now is the Iran war. That's the most important thing right now.
Oh, we've won the Iran war.
Yeah, but see, but it's deeper than that. I think I've called in before, and I think it's my issue with this whole thing is Israel's influence on America and Trump.
What, you know, Israel's a tiny little country, you know that, and it's very poor. How does this tiny little poor country have so much influence over the most powerful man in the world, President Donald Trump? Can you explain that to me? Tiny little poor country, very few people.
That's a very good question. I remember I looked at a clip that I've never seen before.
Well, how about a very good answer? How about a very good answer?
I'm explaining it.
I'm
trying to explain it. I've seen a clip where Trump was pushing in Netanyahu's chair. Now, I've never seen Trump ever do that with anybody else.
I haven't seen that. What you're talking about, you know, you ever heard of AI?
Yep, everything is AI, just like the Epstein list didn't exist. Just like everything is a conspiracy.
Just because something's a conspiracy doesn't mean it's true. But when you say Israel has this control over the president, what you're really saying is the Jews. And no. I'm responding to what you said. Now you talked about, you know, what you're really saying is that the Jews have all this influence. You know, do you know how many Jews do you think there are on the planet Earth?
1%.
I didn't ask you what percentage. How many Jews are there in the world, would you say?
Out of 8 billion, estimated 8 billion is probably like, I'll say, if I had to estimate, I'll probably say it's like probably 50 million.
50 million. You think there's 50 million Jews? You think there's 50 million Jews in the world? Is that your final answer?
In the entire world? Mm-hmm. If we're including real Jews and not the Nazi Jews.
No, we're talking about Jews. How many Jews are there in the world? You say 50 million?
I don't know.
But you say, okay, you're wrong.
I don't know.
You're wrong. You want to guess again?
I don't know. Can you tell me the answer?
Yeah, I happen to know. Yeah, 16 million. There are 16 million Jews in Florida. Half of them are in Florida, right? Okay. There's another huge chunk in New York. Very few in Israel. So and many of them are children, you know, and things like this. So you mean to tell me that a group of 16 million are controlling the world, basically, and controlling the president of the United States? How are they doing that?
And I'll tell you why. Because let me ask you a question. Are you a Christian? Are you religious to any?
No, I'm not answering. I'm not here to be interviewed by you. We're having a discussion. Explain to me how 16 million Jews, half of them live in Florida, a huge chunk of them live in New York, very few in Israel. Many of them are elderly and children. How are they pushing Trump around? How does that work?
I don't think you, because I'm trying to explain the answer. It's through the Bible. I'm trying to tell you, because I'm asking, are you a Christian? If you're not, the explanation won't. You don't.
No, I'm not answering any questions. I want you to process this. This is what I want you to explain. Okay.
Okay.
Explain to me how a group of 16 million people worldwide, half live in Florida, another quarter in New York. A huge chunk of them are very elderly because, you know, Florida senior citizens, many of them children. How does it work for them to control President Trump, the most powerful president America has ever had? How does that work?
It's not that they just control Trump. They own America. They control America.
I understand that. So how does this group get President Trump to do their bidding? How does it work? Like, how's it go down?
I'm explaining, because they don't just control Trump. They control America in the central bank. Now, America does not own the central bank, the Federal Reserve. This is fact. the Federal Reserve is a private entity. Is that true or not? Yes, it's true.
No,
So
no,
if you look
no,
at,
no,
so that's a lie. So America
no.
owns
It's
the central
not.
bank.
It's not a private bank. No,
I
no.
hope they paying you good, man. I hope
Who do you
Israel
hope
really
pays
paying
me? Who do you hope pays me good? The Jews?
you should have a syndicated show, man.
Well, I
You
agree
a
with
good
you on
sellout.
that. I should be syndicated
You a
around the
good
country.
sellout, man.
Absolutely.
You should be up there with Bill O'Reilly. If you
Yeah,
don't sell out, sell out for
I agree with you. I should be up there with Bill O'Reilly in his heyday, not Bill O'Reilly
Because
today.
you're gonna bend over for the Mossad agents and all that. You
Okay,
get paid.
so explain to me how this small group of people get Trump to do their bidding. I'd like to know how this goes down. No, you're not. You're just babbling garbage. You're not saying much of anything.
I'm trying to explain to you. You're lying. You can pull it up on Google. America does not own the Federal
I don't need
Reserve.
Google. I've got you, buddy. How do they get President Trump to do their bidding?
Hold on. If you have me, why won't you let me explain? You keep cutting me off. That's somebody who's scared of the truth. You know
the truth. I'm scared of the truth. I know. I'm scared.
Waking up.
Yeah,
America's
America's waking up.
Doing the same thing they did it. They're doing the same thing they did in Germany. They're doing it in America. They took over Hollywood. They took over the central bank. They took over the schools.
Okay. Listen. You and I are both in Florida. You and I. I'm going to ask you a question. You're in Florida, like I'm in Florida. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the what the Baker Act is?
Oh, he's trying to be funny. Yeah.
Have you ever been Baker acted?
No, I've never been Baker acted. You need to be Baker acted because you an Israel plant. You pushing their agenda, their propaganda.
Has anyone ever suggested? Has anyone ever suggested to you that you be Baker acted?
Hey, everybody seems crazy in a world full of lies.
No, everybody's. Oh, okay. So you believe that you do appear to be crazy. You just said that you.
I believe that you're a liar and you mislead the American people. You don't care about the American people. You're a sellout. If you told the American people the truth, you will wake them up. Just like Charlie Kirk was waking people up. He was waking people up about Israel, and then he got unalive as soon as he started.
All right. Hey, listen, I got to run for a break, but
go ahead and run. That's what you do best.
It's called a commercial break. I'm late for the break. Those of you in Florida are familiar with what Baker acting is. Those of you that aren't, Google it. Okay, you'll get a chuckle. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. And then I asked if anyone suggested that he should be Baker acted. Then he started saying, "Well, everybody seems a little crazy." No, I don't think so. I'll tell you one thing that's crazy is not to call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax to handle your taxes for you. If you missed the tax deadline and you didn't file an extension, don't panic. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you. If you owe back taxes, call Jamie Levac. He will take care of it for you, okay? I was talking to Jamie Levac a couple weeks back, and he was talking to me about people that have all this tax debt and these companies that you hear advertising with national advertisements. And those companies charge thousands and thousands of dollars to help you with your situation with the IRS. And I said to Jamie Levac, I said, well, these are people that didn't have any money to pay their taxes. How are they going to pay these companies thousands of dollars? He said, exactly. And Jamie Levac, if you owe back taxes to the IRS, stop worrying. Stop staying up late at night. Stop being afraid of the mailbox. Stop being afraid of the certified letters in the mail. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you for a tiny little fraction of what those big companies are charging. And he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. You can call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. We'll be right back. All right, we're about a minute away from coming back. We're still in radio break. That last caller, can you give me a yes or no in the chat? Is he nuts? Is he a crazy person? Yes or no in the chat. Is he a crazy person? If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Crazy talk. It's amazing how few Jews there are in the world, only 16 million. That's scary, isn't it? 20 seconds and we'll be back. It puts perspective the Holocaust, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, 10 seconds. Welcome back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Andy. I'm from California.
Oh, here we go. Yes, Andy in California.
So, what were you guys? I kind of just heard the last few minutes of the last caller, but you were asking how the small Jewish population is able to control President Trump. Is that correct?
Well, no. The lunatic anti-Semite that called up is under the impression that the Jews control Trump. And I pointed out to him that worldwide, there were only 16 million Jews. About half of them live in Florida. Another quarter live in New York. Very few in Israel, and many others spread throughout other parts of the world. Many of them are extremely elderly and are children. So we're really talking about maybe half that number or less that would be in the physical capacity to do much of anything. So I'm curious, how does such a small group of people push around the most powerful president this country's ever seen, Donald Trump? That's what I was asking that lunatic.
All right. So, I mean, it comes with a lot of nuance, right? If we look back at
No, I don't want any nuance. President Trump President Trump's the president. The Jews come to him and say, "You're going to war with Iran, Trump." How do they make him do it?
Could I speak?
You can answer the question, and we're not going to get off on some vague nuances. They come to President Trump and tell him he has to go to war with Iran. How does that work?
Okay, well, it's kind of hard. Okay, let me explain, right? So let's look at the past, right? Let's look at 1950s, right? In 1950, you had J. Edgar Hoover, who was, at the time, the head of the FBI.
We're not talking about the 50s. We're talking about, no. It's 2026. No, I don't need historical context, okay? I'm informed and educated, and so is my audience.
Okay.
Slow down. No, here's the topic. Here's the topic on the table.
Yes, let me put some context.
No.
Okay, you can't.
No.
You want an answer?
No, I do not want context from you.
Let's look at how much money he gets from the AIPAC lobby, right? President Trump got $300 million.
Oh my goodness.
From Mario Adelson.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What does that mean? Mario Adelson. What does that mean?
Are you kidding me?
What does that mean?
Are you kidding me?
They're rich people. These are billionaire people.
Exactly.
That's cigar money.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm.
Mario Adelson. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what I want to know. Slow down. Here's what I want to know. If you don't stop, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to hang up on you. If you don't stop talking, all right. Goodbye. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, you're right. Marco Rubio is the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the country.
Indeed, yes.
I mean, think about it. What Trump through him has done with Central America has basically isolated the Mexican cartel President Scheinbaum, because everybody else is our friend down there. Guatemala and the rest of them are our Panama are our friends down there.
Yep.
So, he's been doing the negotiations for Greenland.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to have Greenland, and now we got control over Venezuela. We're probably going to go in there to Brazil at some point.
Yep.
And okay, we're with the people down there in Chile and Argentina. So again, he's degraded. Don't give me Madeleine Albright. Okay, for Clinton, she did literally nothing, and we know what Madam Clinton did.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, she gave Russia all that uranium. Hey, I appreciate the call, Mike. Yeah, she gave Russia all that uranium. Oh my goodness. Well, boy, oh boy, I tell you, anti-Semitism sadly is alive and well. Now, I'm going to go back to the phone, take some more calls. But those that have called, we have very few rules on this program. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what the rules are for the new people. New people join us every day. They don't know what all the rules are. One, you can only call once per show. You can call every day, but you can only call once per show. Okay, and no profanity, but the once per show. So I'm imagining some of these mental patients that I've been talking to, some of them may wrangle their way back in, but it's one call per show. You're on the air. You're on the air.
Ben's popping up.
Hey, Ben. All right, Ben.
Yeah. Oh my God. That caller before Mike. It's insane how people cannot do. It's like the old. I said this before. This propaganda that's being run right now. If people had any historical literacy, they would see it's the same Euro trash propaganda that was meant for 20th century peasants in Europe.
Yes.
It's like everything has been. It's just like communists, where they're constantly. It's like the communists are always like, instead of bourgeoisie and the proletariat, they swap out those for like race and gender, and these Nazi like woke right Jew haters. They do the same exact thing. Like, this is the propaganda that they always were amplifying. Jews who did stuff, they would spin it in a bad light. Trump does not get kicked around by anybody. Does anyone really believe Israel's coming to the table and Trump is cowering in the corner?
And if you notice, when I asked that, they both said, those anti-Semites, Netanyahu made Trump do this war. And I asked them to talk about and explain to me how that went down, and they want to talk about everything but that, because it doesn't make sense.
The USS Liberty, they'll go back, they'll bring up every old trope that they do, and the thing is, the reason they're crashing out right now is their entire like network and constellation of personalities. They're being completely exposed. Nicholas Fuentes is a Democrat now. Tucker Carlson has lost his mind, where he gets shown on tape him saying something, and then he'll look at it and say it's not true. He'll call Trump the Antichrist. Megyn Kelly is now Mrs. Islam. Candace Owens is getting completely blown up by Laura Loomer. Like, these people are crashing out because their whole operation is falling to pieces. Hey, say what you want about the left, but at least their game plan to destroy America, it took us a little longer to figure it out. They've been having, since Obama.
Well, I'll tell you, in the last week, Laura Loomer is one of the most important people in the Trump administration there is by far. I mean, I put Loomer at the level of Marco in a different way. She's she just totally took down Candace Owens. She took down Candace Owens' credibility on a dime, even with her own people. And Candace even took a week off when Loomer started exposing her. And if you notice, no one's talking about her anymore. Nick Fuentes, I guess it was about a week ago, maybe a little longer, he slipped on the air and said he's a Democrat on his show. He went out live on his live stream. He's done.
He's not slipping. He said it. He's a moderate Democrat now.
Well, why did he say it? No, he didn't say now. Did he? I didn't hear now. I heard him say that he's a moderate Democrat. He didn't say now. No, he
literally wants Republicans to lose because he wants Democrats to take over, people to become more radicalized, and then someone will come back. He's an op. He's not. And if you look at the, not even just Nick Fuentes, they all went to Rome. Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll.
And what was that about?
And they're all for Islam. They came back and they all have the same talking points about Islam. We need to unite with them.
This what's the other? Oh, Carroll. Ian Carroll.
Yeah.
I don't know why people give him credibility. It was like 6 months ago, he was doing TikTok videos about grocery store prices. And now all of a sudden he's some guy. Yeah, and now he understands world affairs and has an understanding. I mean, I don't get this stuff about Ian Carroll.
Look at this is what I just came to a realization yesterday. Like, look at how your caller, how he had to go so deep into to prove that there's all these conspiracies. We can look at China, we can look at Russia, we can look at North Korea and Iran, and we can say, wow, these people are evil. Look at what they're doing on faith. With these anti-Israel obsessionists, these Israel derangement syndrome sufferers, what they do is they have to go back 50 years on this one document, and it was this operation that went across this person's desk, and we don't really know about it. Notice how they can't ever give you things on its face. They can't point to things like Iran killed 40,000 people. That's pretty obvious. Israel, you go to Israel, you have every right. They have Arabs on the Knesset, on the Supreme Court, but they don't have any evidence that's in your face. It's always this back channel. You can't really verify.
And I've noticed it happened with the first. It happened with the first guy today, but this has been happening a lot lately. They keep pointing to AI generated photographs between Trump and Netanyahu. That's about the third or fourth call that's mentioned in AI generated photo. I saw this photograph and Trump was doing this with Netanyahu. It's all AI, and they know it when I call them out on it, but it fits what they want to believe.
They lie as much as the woke left. It's insane. They will just come out with any video of some child dying, and they'll be like, this is what we're supporting. And then you'll find out that's from a conflict from 2018, and it's not even in Israel. And they're just constantly getting caught in these lies, and it's pathetic. And that little dude, that little baby who probably still lives in his mom's basement, what he doesn't understand is he is the victim of a left-wing psychological operation, and he looks like a fool. He's falling for an operation that's meant to be a wedge in MAGA to tear us apart, and he's too stupid to realize it because he's so.
Well, and here's the other thing. All this endless talk about how the Holocaust happened. It's from these jerks that called me today. It's about allowing people like that to go unchecked and called out on the carpet like I did. I'm all for debate and everything, but I have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism. I just don't tolerate it. And by the way, I'm not a Jew. And notice how the guy accused me of taking Jewish money. Well, Steve Kane's a Jew, so I don't know. But, it's so bizarre. Miriam Adelson. I love how they say these names. Miriam Adelson. Ooh, what does that even mean? You're talking about someone, a billionaire. $300 million to someone like that is cigar money. It's nothing. Nothing. That's how rich some people are.
He was insinuating that Trump is controlled by Jewish money and therefore he's not acting out of
Jewish money.
That's what they're saying.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
What they're saying, and it's they're a bunch of children, and
Listen, I got to run for the break because I'm late. But but you know what? They don't understand what they're saying. The first guy is crazy. No. When I started talking about Baker acting, he said everybody seems a little crazy. So that's come up in his life before. So, that's a crazy. The last guy is just some punk gamer who took a break from Twitch streaming to give me a call. I mean, you're talking, they don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah. Get back to your anime. Exactly. All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday afternoon, I don't know if this happened at your house, but here in Boca, it wasn't just raining. I got to tell you, we must have had tropical storm force wind gusts yesterday. It was raining hard. And it started in the back of my house. I could hear the rain coming down, and I'm in my living room, and it's totally dry. This is how it is when you live in the beautiful sunshine tropics of Florida. I hear the rain coming down hard, man, and I'm looking out my front window. It's totally dry, like a summer day, and then a few seconds later, boom, I can hardly see the street in front of my house. And I got an Amazon delivery. It was raining so hard, he pulled up into my front lawn. I couldn't believe it with that big electric Amazon truck. I'm like, you better watch it. You're going to hit my car. But anyway, it was raining hard yesterday, and it was windy. And I don't know if we had hail yesterday. I would not be surprised if we did have hail. look up at your ceiling. If you have a wet spot in your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. But one of the main things that make Tom Laporta separate and apart from these other companies out there is he's not just a roofer, he's also a general contractor, which allows him to deal directly with your insurance company, whether it's residential or commercial. Under Florida law, Tom Laporta is allowed to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof, which speeds things up a lot. Okay, give Tom Laporta a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you could call or text Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. Call us on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right, we're still in radio break, so we'll be back in less than 90 seconds. So if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm going to move on to some other topics when we get back, but you're welcome to call in about anything on your mind and that relates to what I brought up so far. It's not open phones, but anything on your mind related to what I brought up today, you are more than welcome to call in about. And we'll take some more calls when we get back. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We have 50 seconds. And please, guys, if you could take a moment to like the video. Liking the video gets my channel recommended to people that have not yet found the show. So liking the video really helps grow the channel a lot. So please like the video. And if you get that hype option, take advantage of that too, because that all helps promote the program. All right, so hang in there. We've got about less than 30 seconds, and we will be back. Oh, man, I got it really early. Do any of you watch The Boys on Amazon? I watched it this morning before the show, and I was doing show prep. It's the next to the last episode. They got a lot to pack in that last episode. I hope the last episode is 2 hours. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, it's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Cornbread, North Carolina. Hey, look, you, by definition, are the epitome of the Baker's Act. I'm telling you right now, that first caller had your lunch. He was eating you up. That was hilarious.
I missed that part. Can you walk me through it? Share the. Well, I've got you. Share the part of the. Share the part of the call where he ate my lunch. Let's relive it. Share the part of the call.
You totally got exposed.
As what? What did he expose me as?
So exposed.
As a what?
As an idiot. I'm going to be careful. I don't want you to cut me off.
Well, walk me through the. Excuse me. If you're not, you got to stop talking. Walk me through the part where he ate my lunch. Let's relive it. He ate my lunch. Walk me through that part of the call. I don't recall that.
Man, I hope he calls back every day.
You know what happened? I just ate your lunch, and you're too stupid to even know it. You know that? I mean, think about it. I just ate your lunch, and you don't even know it.
How does it feel to talk over people? That's exactly what I'm doing to you.
No, you're not. You're not talking to anybody, including me now. You're talking to yourself, which is probably how life usually goes for you. Did you see Kash Patel making us proud yesterday? Oh, man. Since Pam Bondi was fired by our favorite president, sometimes, I'm very patient with the callers, okay? I'm very patient. But sometimes they say something and you just gotta, that's it. They give you that opportunity. Since President Trump fired Pam Bondi a little more than a month ago, we've been seeing the real Kash Patel. I wonder if Dan Bongino wishes he would have stuck it out a little bit, because maybe not. I don't know. But did you see the exchange with Kash Patel and Chris Van Hollen yesterday? This was beautiful. Now, I'm going to play a clip of it. You want to talk about getting their lunch eaten. Chris Van Hollen's lunch was ate on live television by Kash Patel. And I'll just give you a little background. Van Hollen is the one that went to El Salvador with the fake Maryland man, the MS-13 guy that is a human trafficker. Van Hollen went down to El Salvador and had beers with him, right? Remember that? That's what Kash will be referencing here. Listen to this. Exactly. I'm not saying it. He just came out of his mouth. He just said it. I'm going to play the whole thing uninterrupted. Okay. I know it's hard because it's so good, but here we go. Everybody's seen it. Exactly. Drinking margaritas with felons. Oh, man. Oh, man. You're on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where you? Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from? What?
Dan Winter Haven.
Dan in Winter Haven. All right. What's up, Dan in Winter Haven?
Yeah, when is our great Governor DeSantis going to do what you talked about the other day? Take taxes off the gas, all the gas stations. You had talked, but never was a big mention. Has DeSantis done anything?
Well, I'm calling on Governor DeSantis to do that. I think that would be a great idea. But Governor DeSantis, I'm not his favorite person. I've been, calling him out for a long time, right? Hold on, did I lose you? So, DeSantis doesn't really take advice from me, but,
And what about you, dog? You did bring up something one time about everybody's going to get $2,000. What's going on with that?
President Trump would like to give the American people a $2,000 bonus from the tariffs, but the Supreme Court's telling him he's got to give the tariff money back to these companies. So go talk to the Supreme Court. You got another question?
No, I'm just wondering. Have a good day.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Oh, he hung up. No questions about him. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Boy, oh boy, it's great to see that Cash Patel, without Pam Bondi, is doing a great job and coming out and being tough like he should be. And the whole administration that we have, everybody's fantastic. This is probably the best administration I think we've ever had. Better than the first time President Trump was in. These guys are all top of the line, man. Everybody's doing a fantastic job. I can't complain about anybody right now.
I know
everything is going great. I mean, the best attorney general we have now finally got a big guy in there working. Everybody's doing great.
Not everyone's doing great. These liberals that have been calling me today, like yesterday, are completely unhinged.
Unhinged, man. They're nuts. I mean, think about it. I just read yesterday that 30% of the American people think that President Trump, these were fake assassination attempts. Somebody gets killed right next to right near President Trump, and that was a fake attack.
Yeah.
Oh man, these people are nuts.
Yeah.
I can't believe that anybody could think that.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it. And I certainly don't believe that 30% of people think that's not. I don't believe that. That got to be another MSNBC or
I don't know who they're polling with that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, Doug. I appreciate the call. You take care. Did you guys catch over the weekend the great Erica Kirk gave the commencement address at Hillsdale College? And I have not seen the whole thing yet. I've seen some clips of it. What they do to Erica Kirk is so lowlife. You've got this jealous woman here, Candace Owens. And, a lot of people think she's jealous because she didn't get Charlie. I don't think so. I think she's jealous that she's not getting the attention that Erica's getting. But she gave the commencement address at Hillsdale College, and after the break, something miraculous happened at Hillsdale College. I'm going to share with you after the break. But first, I want to ask you this. Have your expenses gotten over your head? Have you been using credit cards and have a lot of credit card debt, high-interest credit cards or other high-interest debt? Listen, I'm here to tell you, I understand. I've been in debt in my life. It is not a way to live. When you're debt-free, when you get rid of all that high-interest debt, You know, it is such a relief off of you. It's like freedom. You know, you have this high interest debt, high interest credit card payments, and you're a good person. You don't miss your payments. You make them on time every month, and you get the balance, and you don't even make a dent in it. Well, listen up, homeowners. American Financing has a way out. American Financing isn't about shortcuts. It's about real strategic plans to reset your finances and reclaim your budget. American Financing specializes in building plans tailored specifically to your goals. They look at your current debt and show you exactly how your home's equity can work smarter for you. Imagine rolling that high interest debt into one simple, manageable monthly payment. There are no upfront fees and zero pressure. Just honest advice from salary-based consultants. On average, American Financing customers save $800 a month. That's $10,000 a year. It gives you some real breathing room. Start today, and you may even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Give them a call, 866-885-1081. That's 866-885-1081. American Financing, America's home for home loans. 866-885-1081. 866-885-1081. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in about 35 seconds, guys. All right. You know, I asked earlier, give me a yes or no. Well, I just need the yeses because those will be few. Do any of you watch The Boys on Amazon? Any yeses on that? Am I the only one in this audience that watches The Boys? Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, so something amazing and quite miraculous happened at Hillsdale College with Erica Kirk. And I haven't seen this get any news coverage. I saw this yesterday, and what I'm about to share with you, I did post to my ex at Brian Craig Show. It is really something happened that could put Charlie Kirk in line for sainthood if you were Catholic. What people have done to Erica Kirk is one of the most low-life things I've ever seen in this country. It really is. You know, you go after a widow who lost her husband in the most horrific way. Sadly, I saw that video when it first happened. I wish I hadn't. You know, I was doing some production work for my podcast, and my phone rang. It was Steve Kane. He says they killed Charlie Kirk. I said, no way. I hadn't got any notification. He said, it just happened. And I said, let me pull this up, and I watched it. I wish I hadn't done that because you can't unsee it. It's just so bad. And the things they've said about Erica Kirk since then, I mean, you know what they are. Just really low-life, scummy people. Who's this comedian that just got all the tattoos removed? He lost his dad in 9/11. He was on Saturday Night Live. Peter, what's his name? He was with Kim Kardashian for a while. I did see him in one movie. He's not a bad actor, but I'll never watch that pig again. He made a comment at a celebrity roast about Charlie Kirk. I'm not even going to play it for you. What's his name? Davidson? You know what I'm talking about? It made me physically ill when I saw this yesterday, and I'm not going to play it for you. It's so bad. Yeah, Pete Davidson. You guys can look it up on your own. It's so bad. I'm not going to. First off, it's not only vile, it's also pornographic, and I couldn't play it even if I wanted to on the show. I've never seen anything like this. So let me get back to the miracle at Hillsdale. Erica Kirk spoke at Hillsdale College. She gave the commencement address. And you really got to hand it to her. Everything they say and do towards her, and she still goes out there. She's talking about, she's doing a national tour with a pastor. If I can, and it comes to my town, I'm going to go if I can. Depends on when and where and all that stuff. I'd like to go just to support Erica Kirk. I'd like to be able to meet her. You know, I mean, she's an amazing person. So she's speaking at Hillsdale, and there's these idiot protesters outside. Who protests a widow like that? Who does that? Scum, that's who does it. Scum. Did you see what happened? This is the miracle. You can't make this stuff up. So there's this group of scum buckets protesting Erica Kirk as she's speaking at the commencement at the Hillsdale College graduation. And lightning from the sky came down and struck the tree where the crowd was. And they dispersed. The tree where the protesting Erica Kirk crowd was located, during the protest, lightning came down from the sky, struck the tree, and they ran for the hills. What are the odds of that? This just blew my mind when I saw this. Yeah, no one was hurt. Some people were scared. No one was injured. What are the odds of that? Isn't that something? You know, and that's what I'm talking about. Did Charlie Kirk do that? What do you guys think? Is it possible? I do. I do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, so my question about for today really is just why do you guys care so much about Erica Kirk? I thought, Charlie really practiced that women shouldn't be in roles like this, and that women should be at the home being caretakers, being nurturers, providers, all that stuff.
Well, you
So
thought you thought wrong.
No, I didn't think wrong.
No, you thought wrong. See, excuse me, I'm going to respond to the filth that came out of your mouth. Do you mind? Can I, you said some disgusting things that are based on.
Why?
I'm not going to respond to anything you say beyond this. I want to comment on the filth that just came out of your mouth. Charlie Kirk.
Go ahead.
It's hard to do that when you won't stop talking. I mean, I'll respond with you on the phone, or I'll just hang up on you and do it without you. It's up to you.
I know you're a coward.
If I'm a coward, why am I talking to you and have you on the phone? I can hang up on you. I haven't hung up on you. If I didn't want you on this program, you wouldn't be on it. I'm allowing you here. I know who you are, and you asked a question, and I want to address it. All right, there we go. He doesn't want the answer. Charlie Kirk talked about this, okay, which is something Dr. Oz said, that we need to have more babies born in this country. Okay? We need to have more babies born in this country. Okay? And yeah, he did talk about a woman's traditional role is at home, taking care of a family and raising children. That's correct. But the Never Trumpers took the man out of the household and murdered him. The Never Trumpers assassinated Charlie Kirk. All right? She doesn't have a husband at home to care for. It's just her now. How the hell did she stay home and take care of her husband and children when you Never Trumpers assassinated him? You guys, you think filth. Low-life, disgusting filth is in your brain. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. I was talking, was it yesterday's show? I do so many shows, sometimes it's hard for me to remember which day I said what. But I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. But I was talking about Uber drivers. And there are a lot of seniors that work as Uber drivers. And this is my experience, okay? It used to be in the old days, the old guys worked at Publix as baggers. Now a lot of them are Uber drivers. I ordered some DoorDash yesterday. A senior came and delivered it, here in South Florida. These are not people working because they want to work. They're working because they have to. I understand people want to keep busy. There's a lot of ways to keep busy that don't involve being out in the hot Florida sun, bagging groceries, or driving your car around, delivering things all day, or doing the Uber. Okay? With an annuity, you get that monthly income. You don't have to work. Whatever you're making at Publix, whatever you're making as an Uber driver, you can match that and even make more money with an annuity. But don't take my word for it. Call the financial advisor that has over 30 years of experience doing just this, retirement planning, Jupiter Joe Thomas. Call no matter where you're located. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back.
always known more than they've said, and it all leads to the final book in the trilogy, Still Best of Friends. Now, the truth is out, and the consequences are closing in. Trust is fading, loyalty is tested, and staying friends may cost them everything. 3 books, one powerful story. How far would you go to protect your friends and yourself? This trilogy also makes a great addition to your book club. Books in the series can be purchased individually or as the complete trilogy. The Best of Friends trilogy from author Sherry Bradley is available right now on Amazon. Order yours right now. On the line, we have Jamie Lee back from Swim Tax. You know, Jamie, there's a lot of people out there that are paying the IRS. It's free right now on Amazon. For the next 30 days. So if you've got kids around the 9 to 12 age range, definitely worth checking out. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sir Dunhill's Holiday Handbook for Civilized Survival. Order your copy right now. Every month, an envelope arrives in your door. Inside, a sealed dossier. Coded transmissions, a classified spy story with no clear heroes. And a mole hiding somewhere deep inside the Directorate. Your mission, decode the ciphers, follow the intelligence, uncover the truth. The Directorate, a monthly spy subscription for the kind of person who doesn't stop at the obvious answer. $15 a month. Your first dossier ships within 72 hours. JoinTheDirectorate.com. That's JoinTheDirectorate.com.
All right, we're still in radio break for 1 more minute, less than a minute now, and we'll be back. If you're on hold, hang in there. I will go to the phones when we get back from the break, all right? And if you'd like to call in, you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far today. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631, and it is pinned in the live chat. And please, guys, make sure you like the video. That's what really helps grow the channel. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found me. So that helps grow the community. So please like the video, if you don't mind. All right? Okay, we got about 20 seconds. Oh, man. I got to get a haircut today because I'm going to be on TV this week again. So I got to get a haircut for TV. We're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. They thought better. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Leroy. I'm in Alaska.
Where in Alaska?
Juneau.
Juneau. What time is it in Juneau?
It is, let me look at the clock here. It's 3 a.m.
Oh, my goodness. 3 a.m.? Really?
Yeah, I get up
what
early.
Time zone are you in?
I get up Pacific.
Well, I'm confused. How can it be 3 a.m. in the Pacific time zone when it's 7:53 a.m. in the East? How could it be 3 a.m.?
It's far Pacific time zone.
Yeah, but the minutes should be the same.
So
oh my
here's
God!
why I was calling.
Don't you feel stupid? Why would you claim to be from Alaska? Why?
Why not?
Why?
Why not? It's Lisa Murkowski calling you.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Why not?
You told me on your last call why I'm not going to talk to you. All right, take care. Oh my goodness. Gee. Who would lie about that? Oh man. You know, we're just doing so well. We're gaining through the redistricting. We're gaining seats. I know it seems very easy when I do these things. This is years of experience, okay? When, you know, and of course I've learned how to do all this from Steve, but you know, if you think I'm rough on these callers, you ain't seen nothing till you've seen Steve go after these callers. Steve's heartless, okay, when he goes after callers. I'm much kinder than Steve going after these callers. But it only seems easy because I'm so good at it, guys. Okay, don't try this at home. That's why other shows don't take live, screenless, unvetted calls. You know, they like to have some knowledge of who's on the phone before they take it. But when an artist is at work, artists make the very difficult seem so easy and simple. That's the sign of an art. But anyway, we're gaining seats all over the House of Representatives just by the redistricting. I mean, without even, forgetting about all the seats we're going to win with the voting, we've gained with this Missouri map, it may be 15 or 16 seats just in the redistricting, right? Just in the redistricting, we've gained like 14 to 16 seats. I'm starting to lose track. right? It's a great thing. Here's Fox News yesterday. Fox News' John Roberts. Isn't that something? I mean, that's another seat in Missouri. So I'm that in South Carolina. You guys, how many seats have we gained now? I've lost track because it's happening so much from the redistricting. Last week it was 12 just in the South, and with everything else, it's got to be like 16, maybe even 17. Now, there were, yesterday, there were primaries in West Virginia and Nebraska. 9 Trump-endorsed candidates won their primaries, running for the House, running for the Senate. Yeah, 369 in Nebraska and West Virginia. 9 Trump-endorsed MAGA Republicans won their primaries yesterday. Was that even in the news? I know. I'll never get sick of winning. Never. Oh, all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hey, Carlos. What's up?
You want to know what's the craziest thing about all this restricted thing that all these states are getting more Republican? The Democrats caused this by their crazy laws. They're driving everybody out of the states into other states. So now we got to restrict the things because we have to change it because we got more people in our states. So they caused this. Mm-hmm. They themselves caused all this problem.
Oh yeah.
They didn't get that. They didn't figure that. All right, that's all I have to say.
All right, appreciate the call.
You're the greatest.
All right, well, thank you so much from Port St. Lucie on one of our new radio stations. I love Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie is awesome. He's absolutely right. See, what the Democrats never counted on is having Republicans that stand up to them. See, they're used to Republicans being like John Thune. That's it. That's basically what it is. And, we stand up to them now because we won, we're in charge, and the movement's growing. These 9 primary wins of President Trump, everyone he endorsed in Nebraska and West Virginia, so far as I know, won, but 9 victories just yesterday in the primaries. See, they try to get Trump to start a third party, a MAGA party. It'd be, but no, he said, no, we're going to take back the Republican Party, and they laughed at him. And look at what's happened here. It's absolutely amazing. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is a toll free call no matter where you're calling from. And those of you that are new to the program, here on the Steve Kane Show, we not only do we take live calls on the program, you're welcome to call us, whether you agree or disagree. Steve and I both love callers to take issue with us. You're more than welcome to call. And also, all the calls are screenless and unvetted. And what that means is when you call, no one answers the phone. We just put you on hold, and then you'll hear me say at some point, what's your name, where are you calling from? And then when you answer, that's the first time we know who you are. That's how we do it. And you're welcome to call in, 888-465-2631. If you think losing weight is impossible, you're not alone. I used to think that. I thought to lose weight, you had to starve yourself, work out all the time, eat foods that you hated. None of that is true. With Dr. Zuckerman over there at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, losing weight is simple. I did it, and I've kept the weight off, eating foods I would normally eat without any pills, without any shots, and without any exercise, and without starving myself. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, no matter where you are in the world, and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. Steve will be joining us after the top of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take our break for the top and be back with Steve Kane and more. All right, 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. It's Wednesday already. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Could not be doing better, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm not doing so well, and I wanted to ask you about something. It's bothered me for a while, and I hear it all over the dial and on television when I watch Fox. What is this Erica Kirk scandal that everybody always refers to, but nobody will tell you what the hell they're talking
There's
about?
no scandal. There's a bunch of scumbuckets and sleazeballs who say terrible things about Charlie Kirk's widow all the time.
Well, you have nothing specific in mind?
And Pete Davidson said something. I'll tell you about that too. Yeah, they talk about how Erica Kirk was behind the assassination of her husband. They talk about that a lot. Yeah.
Erica, was she masterminded?
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the big ones. Yeah, hold on, Steve. We'll give me 1 second. 1 second here. Well, it's absurd. It's absurd. That's one of the things they say, that she was the mastermind behind her husband's assassination. Mm-hmm.
Did they say she had a boyfriend?
That some of them add that into it, yes, and they say that the boyfriend was one of the top guys that worked for him, that still works at Turning Point. That's another one of the things they say about her. Yeah, but most of it centers around that she had her husband killed, which is insane. Mm-hmm.
And they offer no proof, no nothing.
No, just it's
That's bizarre crap. I don't understand why. But nobody ever talks about directly what they're saying about
Well,
it.
I think the reason that is because they and I agree with you. They should. They assume that but they never. If they never tell you what it is, how do you know, right? But that there's other things too, but those are the main ones. Pete Davidson, who Pete Davidson, he's he used to be on Saturday Night Live, and he was at a celebrity roast this week, and he made a sexual comment about Charlie Kirk's throat in the roast. That was so sick. It was a sexual comment. I couldn't believe. I can't tell you what it is on the air, but it was really sick because it involves pornographic talk. He made a sexual comment about Charlie Kirk's throat where he got shot, and that's why
you don't know how to put it. So
you can't put it in a way. You can't put it in a way. Just think throat and sexual. Okay, that's all I know. You can't put it in a way to clean it up. It's that bad. Pete Davidson. And I've always had a soft spot for Pete Davidson because he lost his dad on 9/11. His dad was a firefighter, and he lost his dad on 9/11. So and he's not a bad actor. I saw him in a movie, and I was pretty impressed by his acting talent. I'll never watch that scumbucket again. It was pretty in fact. I'm feeling a little sick to my stomach just because I know what he said and I can see it and hear it in my head. It's pretty bad. It's a strain of Trump derangement syndrome, but most of the hate comes from Candace Owens, who's jealous of Erica Kirk. That's where most of this comes from, but it spreads around from some of these weirdos and freaks, and it's pretty twisted. I don't
know.
It's bad. I've never heard something like that before, and I've never heard anything like that about an American widow and an assassination like that. People talking about the widow that way. Come on. And that idiot that called me earlier about it. Well, Charlie said women should stay home. What they assassinated her husband. She's got to stay out there to take care of her family and try to keep her husband's business and legacy alive. It's just a lot of low lives. It's a lot of low lives in this. There's a lot of.
I just we have a
standing argument about this all the time. I just don't. I'm not a believer in not. If you're going to talk about an item on the air,
well, we're talking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, Steve, I mean, what more do I have to tell you? He made a sexual comment involving Charlie Kirk's throat. Okay. I mean, how much more do I mean, if you can't figure out what it involved, I mean, I can't go any further than that on the air. I think it's, I can't, but, and he used some very crude terms, very crude, Pete Davidson, and I would not be surprised if he regrets it, because I've seen him on some interviews and everything, and he's not a complete idiot. I'm sure he's a liberal, he's on Saturday Night Live and all. But I would not be surprised if Pete Davidson has some regret, because he lost his dad on 9/11, so he knows what the pain of losing a father did with him, and he might somehow connect with Charlie's children after, and he knows what his mother went through, So Pete Davidson might have some regret. Not that he'll admit it or apologize, but I can't tell you more than that. I mean, it's as graphic as I can get on the air, But mainly, it's just we have a lot of sick people in this world, and because of the internet, they have platforms. And Candace Owens has been the leader in this hate on Erica Kirk business, because she's jealous of Erica Kirk, and she feels. I think Candace Owens was Charlie's girlfriend at one time, and he saw that she's completely nuts and dumped her. And she feels that there's two things she's jealous of, Candace Owens. One, she thinks that they should have put her in charge of Turning Point, because she was instrumental in building it with Charlie in the early days. But she's nuts, so they're not going to do that. And the other thing, I think she's jealous of the attention that Erica Kirk gets. I mean, she's jealous of that. She wants to be the grieving widow that she fantasizes of people feeling sorry for her on stage. And she's got a big following. And she has spread this Erica Kirk hate around our country. Do you want to take some more calls before we break, and then we'll get some things going on? Okay, let's go. You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie. Good morning, Steve. Good morning,
Hey,
Brian.
Rich, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Not for nothing, but some of these people on the internet are so disgusting. Candace Owens wakes up every day, time Charlie Kirk was assassinated, attacking his wife, saying that, there's no excuse for her. She's making clicks. That's what it's all about. It's her conspiracies on everything. She's a whack job, making a lot of money because a lot of people believe what she's saying. Tucker Carlson wakes up every day. Israel's on his mouth. I mean, these people are just sick, and they've turned on the MAGA movement. That's the bottom line. They've turned on us. And it's just going into the gutter. Leave a widow alone already.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the fact that she's crying all the time, and she's a Christian. They hate that. They condemn anybody that's a Christian, believe it or not. I mean, if you want to talk to most of these Democrats,
I don't find that hard to believe at all.
Yeah, they're anti-Christian, anti everything, anti-Israel, anti-Trump, biggest derangement center in the world.
Well, but go ahead.
Yeah, you had that photo of Marco Rubio in that jumpsuit. You know what, President Trump? That was a signal to China. You know what else was a signal to China? Last night at 11:30, I believe it was, in his Truth Social, he put up the 51st state, Venezuela.
Yes,
he's got an American flag. I mean, so he's trolling everybody.
Well, the thing, the market, I was just actually, while I was talking to Steve, I found another website that sells the Nike tracksuits, and I was seeing if I could find, I'm willing to buy 2 of them because I'm not exactly sure my size, like a bigger one, a smaller one, and they're sold out. I mean, I can't get the track. I want that tracksuit so bad. I got a text message from one of our listeners that goes on the cruises, Brad. He texted me. He's a mag out in California. He said they're out of his size too. And I said, man, we could have a whole MAGA night in the Nike tracksuits if we could get them on the cruise. They're sold out already. Have you seen the tracksuit thing, Steve, with Marco?
No.
This
looks like Maduro.
I opened the show with this at 6. So, and I'll have to tell you. I'll tell you about it after the break. but it is the biggest boss move that President Trump and Marco Rubio have ever made, what Marco Rubio did on Air Force One. I'll go over it after the break. All right, Richard, we got to run. I'll give you the last word.
Have a good morning.
All right, last word is...
Have a good morning, Steve.
All right, he got 2 last words. Are you tired of security cameras that cost too much money, are hard to install, or just don't deliver you the protection that you want for yourself and your family? Well, listen to this. There's a smarter way you can protect your family and your home with Sloman's facial recognition cameras. This is incredible tech. I got to upgrade. I didn't even know this tech existed. Sloman's advanced tech recognizes familiar faces and alerts you when specific people arrive. It even connects with your alarm and all your smart devices. All right, so you pull up to your house, the lights come on, your door unlocks, you don't need any keys, nothing. And right now, for a limited time, you can get it all for $24.95 a month. You'll receive an all-in-one facial recognition door lock and doorbell camera, an outdoor camera, the Sloman Shield home security system that includes an LED keypad, 3 door or window contacts, a motion detector, and battery backup. And everything is professionally installed. Call them right now, no matter where you're located, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Calls on hold, stand by. Steve's here. I'm Brian. Back after this. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold during the break. I'll be back. I'm going to answer some calls. Okay? Hold on. what's in the news. First thing I saw, Marco Rubio posed for a picture wearing this Nike tracksuit on Air Force One. And I thought it was a little unusual. I'm not sure what it was all about. And then it didn't take me long to figure it out because everyone was saying it. It's the same tracksuit that Maduro was wearing when Marco Rubio and President Trump and Pete Hegseth picked him up in Venezuela. And it's symbolism to China that America's back. You're not a player in the world. We are running the world, and we took Venezuela, which was a client state of China before we took it over, and now we own Venezuela. It's a power move by the president and Marco Rubio wearing the Maduro tracksuit on Air Force One. That's what it symbolizes.
I'm dumbfounded.
Well, that's okay. The call. Are you there for Dustin in Louisiana? Did you hang up?
No.
No, not yet, Steve. Dustin in Louisiana hung up. I guess he couldn't comprehend it either. But I'll explain it more as we take other calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Caden. I'm
not
going to give you my last name.
We don't want last names from anyone. You're Canadian? Okay.
No, I'm Caden.
Caden. Oh, I thought you said you're Canadian.
Oh.
Okay, Caden. Okay. That I didn't mean that as an insult. It just sounded like you said that. It was not an insult. All right, Caden, what's on your mind?
Well, I personally disagree with MAGA, but because I truly don't believe that they're Republicans anymore. They claim they wanted a smaller government, but it seems that they're just expanding their powers more and more with a larger centralized government.
Really? How has President Trump expanded the government?
Well, the government, he's diverted more funding to things like ICE, which I agree with.
No, he didn't. No. Hold on a second. No. You said that Republicans typically support reducing the size of government. Donald Trump has expanded the size of government, right? You may have missed this, but he fired and got rid of thousands and thousands of federal workers in D.C. But I'm asking you, where did he expand the government? ICE already existed. That's not an expansion. They were already there.
That's not what I was talking about.
You said ICE. Give an example of where, okay, tell us where he expanded government.
There's also the fact that he's been putting his own people, his own friends in power now.
Well, slow down a second. I'm sorry, what was your name again? Candace? I forgot. What's your name? Caden. Okay. I'm sorry, Caden. Who's he supposed to put in positions? His enemies? They all put their friends in. You said that he expanded government.
You put qualified in.
You said that he expanded government. Where did he expand government? Oh, my goodness.
He's repeatedly taken away power from the state legislators.
What power has a state legislator lost? What power has a state legislature lost that they had before Trump? Well, you said that he took power away from the states. What power did the states have that Trump took away? Oh, my goodness.
You know, you are a rude man, and I suggest that you let me finish speaking before you start running your mouth.
You suggest?
Ooh.
That sounds like a threat. Is that a threat?
I don't know. Are you too much of a snowflake to take one?
You said that he took power away from the states. What power did Trump take from the states?
He took away their power to determine abortion. I'm personally...
No, he didn't. In fact, he gave them... No. He gave the states more power. He overturned Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court, which means the states can decide. Some states have more liberal abortion laws now. No, he gave the states more power on abortion.
That is correct. Now there are things that I do like about him.
Well, talk to your friend about that if you have one. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, Steve. The liberal callers this week, they have really not... don't you love the fake accent? You know, that...
Yeah, but some some of them are, you blame it on liberals, but some of them are just nuts.
That was a seminar caller. Not the other ones today weren't seminar callers. That was a seminar caller. The seminar callers, I'm not going to give you all the tells of a seminar caller, okay? Because I don't want to give away all of the colonel's
the magic.
Exactly, secret recipe.
Formula.
Yeah, but one of the signs is the fake Southern accent. Did you hear the fake Southern accent? He was talking like he was a Confederate general in the Martin Sheen Gettysburg movie. Now y'all watch here. I mean, it was one of the fakest Southern accents I'd ever. But no, I want to explain the tracksuit, Steve. The tracksuit that Maduro was wearing when he was captured is a very unique Nike tracksuit. Marco Rubio went out and got it and took this picture on Air Force One. Venezuela was a client state of Cuba and China. Okay, and the tracksuit is representative and is a message to China that America's in charge of the world again. America's been out of we've been out of the loop for a while because we've had a bunch of lowlives and creeps running the country, but America's back, and China, you're out. You're a nobody. You're out of our hemisphere. You're not a player anymore, and we're in charge.
Just let me clarify something. So in the story you're telling, the message is from who and to who?
From Marco Rubio to the Chinese. That's who the message is.
So it was Marco's idea.
I don't think I think it may have been his idea, but certainly the president signed off on it because it's a pretty powerful thing. And then around the same time, the president posted a photograph, the True Social, showing Venezuela as the 51st state on his way to China. So they're really trolling China, letting China know this is not going to be a regular meeting when we get there. America's back. You better start sucking up to us because we're back. I want to tell everyone about Friendly Tire in Margate. That rainy weather yesterday. Holy smokes! It was raining so hard yesterday in Boca. You don't want to be out. It's rainy season, man. You don't want to be out in rainy season on tires that don't have the proper tread. And with tires brand new, as low as $75 a tire, out the door and on the road at Friendly Tire, there's no need to be driving around on tires. There's no excuse to be driving around on tires that don't have the proper tread. And that as low as $75 a tire is on common sizes on some of the most popular vehicles on the road today. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. He has thousands of good used tires in stock as well for as low as $35 a tire. And that's out the door and on the road as well. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, okay? Answer some calls. Okay, hold on. All right, Jamie, thanks, and we'll talk again. All right, Steve, we got 1 minute. 1 minute, and we'll be back.
All right. Am I still connected?
Yep. 1 minute. All right, hang in there. All right, we're back, and you want to go back to the phones?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're going to be here live on Memorial Day, guys. Later this, those of you that are wondering, we're going to be here live on Memorial Day. All right. I know it's a little ways off, but mark it on your calendars. Okay. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey.
JJ, how are you?
Doing good, Steve. Doing good. I was noticing yesterday that there was a lot of lunch going on. I saw in Brian in the earlier part of the show here, we had some guys talking about eating lunch. And
yes.
I think that Cash Patel was up on the hill. Cash Patel was verbally, eating lunch, and then Marco too. Marco didn't even have to say anything. He just took a picture with it. He just took a picture and he's eating people's lunch. And
that let me tell you that you heard my take on the tracksuit. I mean, you agree with me? I mean, I think it was a pretty boss move.
I think it is absolutely. It is it's a very soft and at the same time firm slap against. It's a power. It's such a power move.
It is.
In such a soft way.
You know what it is? It's BDE. BDE is another way to describe it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, without a doubt, it's just that one picture symbolizes how we basically walked into somebody's house and we just
and took them from you, China, and Cuba.
It was a chess match with one move. It was just one move and it was over.
And China is so dependent on oil from Venezuela and Iran, and there's an embargo now against China. They have no oil because of us.
It's the picture that Trump put up with Venezuela, the 51st state thing.
Oh,
it's just classic. It's a very it's humorous, but also it's psychological warfare. Don't mess with us. You don't want to see me in a different tracksuit with the guy that you guys. It's just a power move. It was strength with such a simple
and without saying, this is one of those things. I'm not going to say this. I know it aggravates Steve, but everybody knows what China did in Trump's first term, and it's also a message: is don't pull that crap again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
And absolutely. But I'll say Cash was.
That was the best.
That was just hysterical. And the one caller that called in, the second caller, he was kind of like a circus clown, but he called in laughing and this and that, and it was a perfect segue. He teed it up perfectly for you. And right after that, you went into Cash Patel. As far as eating lunch goes, I don't know if you remember that, but I just laughed at that too. That guy thought he was being really funny, but he actually teed up your next.
I was going to do it later in the show. I played it then just because of the call. I was going to play it later in the show.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you did that on purpose.
Yes.
I figured you did.
I did. It's really amazing. Pam Bondi was really keeping him on a short leash, Cash Patel.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on. well, I'm not 100% in agreement with a lot of people on, like Bongino and Pam Bondi. I'm just happy as toothpicks here of all the good things, the great things that are going on. I tell you what does get my goat, so to speak, gets me furious is the talk, about Erica Kirk and the lightning in the tree. I mean, that almost sounds like a good title for a sci-fi series or a book or something. But that to me was, I believe that was Charlie.
I agree. The lightning strike at the tree where the protesters were against Erica Kirk at Hillsdale, that was a miracle from above. I believe that was Charlie Kirk. I really do.
I believe that 100%.
I'm not kidding.
Other people might not believe that, but I guarantee you they're thinking about it.
Yes. Or a friend of his up there did it on his behalf.
Yes, St. Michael.
Yes.
It came from above.
It did.
It came from
well, I mean,
above.
what are the odds of that?
Very well.
Because what they were doing was demonic.
Exactly. This is the Democrat. Brian, I think, Steve, you had mentioned, with Erica not getting like Erica. It's just the Erica Kirk crowd that's doing all that crap to her. It's the same people that, that are that you can see it coming a mile away. They're talking about something. Israel, and then, the Jews, the space lady. The Jews are ruling the world. And, and they just don't realize how stupid they sound, how awful it is, because they've normalized it. They've gone down this path of sort of the banality of evil would be a good. It's psychology.
I'm surprised. Have you seen the lightning strike of the tree at Hillsdale anywhere in the news? I saw it online yesterday. But
I think you had the picture up, right?
Yeah, I showed the picture, but you haven't seen it. Like, it hasn't been on Fox or anything that you've seen.
Yeah, I don't watch. I gave up on
Have you seen it, Steve? The lightning strike?
No.
Yeah. What happened when the group of protesters that were protesting Erica Kirk speaking at the commencement address at Hillsdale, during their protest, saying these vile things about Erica, lightning came down from the heavens and struck the tree where the protesters were and split it while they were protesting Erica Kirk. And I really do believe that was Charlie Kirk that did that. I do.
Powerful.
It was, there, it happens. I mean, but what are the odds of that? Then
and the comedian you talked about, Brian, that comedian, that was so
Pete Davidson.
That was so evil and sick. I bet he will regret that.
But
Pete
Davidson.
One of the points I was trying to make, Steve, was you had, Erica Kirk, Israel, and the other things that are going on in the Democrats, all the things they're doing. These people, it's just hard for me to believe that all these, I was thinking about the banality of evil. It's Eichmann in Jerusalem. It's a Hannah Arendt book. She's very important in history, written a lot of books. And she talks about the banality of evil, how it's not evil people that end up doing evil. It's pretty much a lot of great evil is committed by, just mundane average people who just kind of, performing their everyday lives.
A lot of it is with the callers.
They get sucked in.
With the callers today, the callers today that you're talking about that did that, they're losers and incels. And they don't like people that aren't losers because they're losers. There's not too much logic in it. But I'll tell you, during the show today, I'm not trying to get an article of clothing that was a fad like Marco Rubio with the tracksuit, since I was trying to get my Frankie Says shirt back in middle school and high school. Frankie said, relax. I'm not kidding. There's only been the only time in my life that I wanted something like that was trendy was my Frankie Says, the USA for Africa sweatshirt, and the Mumford Phys Ed, which and I'll tell people what that is. Mumford Phys Ed was the shirt that Eddie Murphy wore in Beverly Hills Cop. It's a real high school in Detroit, and you couldn't get those sweatshirts back then. But I've been trying to.
Movies lead to fashion.
Or secretaries of state. And I've been trying to get this Nike tracksuit during the whole show today, and they're sold out in any size that would even be baggy on me. I can't get it. I can't get it.
I have a lot of gray. I have a lot of gray, but in my
no, I want that one.
My wardrobe. I don't have that gray.
I do get I got from Nick Shirley. I got a Leering Center hoodie. And I do wear that sometimes. If I could get that tracksuit that Marco's wearing the Maduro tracksuit. I'd wear that hoodie all the time, even in Florida during the summertime. I'd wear that.
If you get it, I'd like to see you. You know, I'd like to look up at your YouTube channel.
You'll see me wearing it on YouTube. All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Okay. All right. Okay. Time to move. Let me answer all these calls. Hold on. The phones are ringing off the hook. All right, Steve. You want to take some more calls?
Yes.
All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Brad from Seattle.
Hey.
Over here in the enemy stronghold.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Hey, so I wanted to talk a little bit about how, you know, nobody said that Trump was a perfect man, but I don't know if you've been in the military or not, but there's a lot of people who wake up in the morning and they think that if I find one imperfection with the president.
All right, no, we're not going to. Give me a break. I tell you what, these people think we're stupid. Give me a break. If you're on hold, stand by. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you after the show. I can't tell you on the air. I tell you.
I think some of the more exciting things are happening off the air than on the air.
Well, Steve, there's certain things you can't say on the air. You can't say certain things on the air.
I would suggest you can find ways of saying things acceptably.
That guy was not saying anything acceptably. I believe me. You think I just cut a guy off like that for nothing? You should know me better. Steve, things are going so bad for the left. They're being very inappropriate on today's show. Listen, I'm gonna put you and everybody on hold, okay? And we'll come back with the gold report. But first, I want to tell you about American financing. Listen here. If you are in debt, if you have high interest loans, high interest debt, if you're overwhelmed by credit card debt, homeowners, American Financing has a way out for you. This isn't about shortcuts. American Financing has a real strategic plan to reset your finances and reclaim your budget. American Financing specializes in building plans tailored specifically to your goals. They look at your current debt and show you exactly how your home's equity can work smarter for you. Imagine this. Rolling that high-interest debt into one simple, manageable monthly payment. There are no upfront fees and zero pressure. Just honest advice from salary-based consultants. On average, their customers save $800 a month, $10,000 a year. That gives you some real breathing room. Start today, and you may even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, America's home for home loans. Call them right now, no matter where you're located. Toll free, 866-885-1081. 866-885-1081. That's 866-885-1081. We'll be right back.
46.38 on the low to 47.74 on the high, and then closed down $20 on the day at $4,714.40. Silver was up 47 cents yesterday at $86.44 the ounce. Platinum lost $5 at $2,124, and palladium was down $20 at $14.73. Overnight, we saw gold trade in the range of $46.75 on the low, all the way up to $47.28. And right now we're at $46.82. That's down $32.40. Silver down 14 cents at $86.30 the ounce. Platinum up $1 at $2,125. And palladium down $3 at $1,470. So the markets are kind of digesting last week's nice gains, especially silver, still acting very strong, and pretty much should be bought on any kind of pullback.
Absolutely. President Trump, he's in China today. Do you recommend any of the Chinese coins? Because there's some really beautiful Chinese coins I've seen you have from time to time.
Yeah, we do have things like the Chinese pandas, which is their big product.
Yep.
Chinese gold pandas. We have them in the 1/20th ounce sizes all the way up to 12-ounce sizes. They aren't as popular as they used to be. They used to be very collectible in this country, and most of the scarcer date ones are actually going back to China for collectors over there.
Yeah.
But they certainly aren't as popular as they once were.
Oh, they're beautiful coins, though. I'm surprised. They're really
Nice
beautiful.
Pandas on them and everything. We do have them in stock.
Yeah. Well, listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. Stop in. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
All right, take care. All right, the phones are ringing off the hook. You want to take some calls, Steve?
Yes.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Steve.
Yes, Steve.
How you doing, Brian?
All right.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well. Here's what I wanted to say. When President Trump got hit in Butler, he stood up defiantly and he pumped his fist in the air, showing no fear, bloodied, basically. That's the best way I can put it. And then at the correspondence dinner, all this stuff happened, and he just sat there with this look on his face, and he did not show fear. I just want to say this, Brian, these people, the fact that he showed no fear made them hate him even more. And it's like they can't reconcile it. They can't reconcile the fact that he showed no fear.
And if you look at you're right. And if you look at the correspondence dinner video, look at the camera angle after they took JD out. That CBS reporter is crawling on her hands and knees backstage. President Trump just walked back, as did Melania.
Yeah, but the look on his face is what really got me. They're saying it, calling it stoic. But the fact is this, Brian, here's the point I'm trying to make. They're so, when they see that, they're so crazy that they say it was staged.
Yeah.
They say Butler was staged. These people are insane now. They're so full of hate. And it just, I've tried to have conversations with people like that, on these chats, on these short chats, whatever, the streaming, and they just won't let you talk. They cut you off, and they always, lower themselves to personal attack. It's always
well, listen, the thing about Trump and Butler, Trump knows that there was there was godly intervention there. I mean, the cue to the shooter was when Trump went to the PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint was always on the other side of the stage. For that one event, it was on the stage left, and that's why he's here today. If it would have been on the other side where it always was, he wouldn't have made it, probably. Divine intervention.
even if you're not religious, whatever, something, I mean, or just fate. I don't know, dude. I mean, godly intervention, fate, luck, whatever.
Well, listen, we're short on time, but I agree with everything you say. Make some good points. All right, let's take another call. We're running short on time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, real fast if I can see the clock. When Trump, right now, Trump has a lot on his plate with Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba. If he didn't have it on his plate right now, he could go even further because China and what China's doing in the Panama Canal, it's like they own it right now. And they also, in Ecuador, they helped the government start these copper mines, and then they made sure they couldn't pay back or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And now they own these copper mines. And what's bothering me is the word hemisphere. You know, that's our hemisphere. What if she stands up to Trump and says, hey, buddy, Taiwan's in my hemisphere? Where are we going?
I take it. Who cares at this point? We're going to go to war over Taiwan, really?
No, they have
most people can't find it on an unlabeled map. We're going to go to war over Taiwan. If we didn't go to war after what they did in Trump's first term, we shouldn't go to war over Taiwan. You know, in Trump's first term, in one of his press conferences with Fauci, he almost said it about China. And he says, if I say it, people are going to want me to do something I don't want to do, which is nuclear war. So no, come on, let him take China. Let China take Taiwan. I don't care. I'm more concerned about North and South America. Get out of here.
Doesn't Taiwan have certain chips that are hard to get?
Whatever, we'll figure out a way.
They're a center for
computer chips.
That you're talking about. And that's one of the reasons that they have some leverage over us in that area. Yeah. And that's why we have to be careful.
Yeah. But China, see here, the thing is, China, you guys go after the show, look up China's aircraft carrier. You know, the idea that they're a superpower is absurd. They have a large army, but it's like from the 1960s era technology in their own country. They have this aircraft carrier that's an old Russian aircraft carrier that's not even seaworthy. They're not an advanced nation. They're not a superpower. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're weak. They're a very weak country, and they have no oil. And now that we control Venezuela and cut them off from Iran, there's a major gas shortage, worse than we had during the Carter years, going on in China. Some videos have leaked out.
That is great. That's great news. Great news. Okay.
All right, Richard, take care.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
All right, take care. Take care. Some pretty good callers today. Some strange folks as well. But yeah. Now listen, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It is. I don't know if it's not officially summer yet, but the weather in Florida is like the summer. Saturday, it was 97 degrees at my house. Heat index was like 101. And you want to look good at the beach. You want to look good at the pool. You want to wear your summer clothes. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Schedule your no-charge consultation. Lose the weight like I did. Listen, those of you that have been on other diets and they've not worked, Coastal Weight Loss Secret has a 100% success rate with me. It's the only official diet program that I've been on. I lost the weight and I've kept it off. And I reached my goal weight a year ago and I've kept the weight off over a year. I don't do any exercise. I eat foods I would normally eat and I don't starve myself. And I haven't taken any pills, shots, none of that stuff. All right. No matter how much you want to lose, 25 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 650 pounds, whatever you want to lose, give them a call. And they can help you lose weight no matter where you are on the planet. The number is 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. All right. Yeah. So everything's going well. I imagine tomorrow there's going to be a lot of things to talk about involving China because the president will have started things over there. But, you know, the president we're winning on so many fronts, Steve. And when he gets back from China, he's going to obliterate whatever leadership's left in Iran. I can tell. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it on the trip. He's taken too much of the cabinet with him. He's got the defense secretary. He's got about half the cabinet with him. You know, if they did it while he was abroad, that would be really not a normal thing to do. That would really catch them off guard. You know, and you look at the way Iran's behaving, and I have never seen such arrogance in global affairs. I've never seen it.
It's almost like they've got a death wish.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do, and you know, and Trump can make their wish come true. He can be their genie. They get the wish, and they can make it come true. You know, if I were these Iranian leaders and I saw that everything they did, I would be wanting to make a deal, because President Trump offered them all 100% immunity, which means they get immunity for all their crimes they've done. And you know, they got a lot of money stashed away that they'd be able to keep. Now they're going to lose everything. You know, they're completely insane. But I imagine tomorrow's show will be something big's got to happen in China today. I mean, you know, Rubio didn't bring the tracksuit for nothing. Yeah, I don't think he'll wear it off the plane, but you'll see, Steve. People will be talking about the tracksuit all day in the news. It's going to be a big story today. Well, listen, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow morning. And those of you that are new to the program, welcome to the program. And, you know, this is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, the Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. You know, our cruise next year in March is the 50th anniversary of the Steve Kane Show cruise. And you guys want to call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. I mentioned Memorial Day earlier. There's some Memorial Day sales that are going on with the cruise line. So call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779, and join us on the Steve Kane 50th Anniversary MAGA Cruise in March on the newest ship of Celebrity Cruise Lines, and this is going to be a great one. All right, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. We'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. Till then, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll see you tomorrow at 6. God bless. All right, we're clear. All right, guys, now before you go, please do me the favor of liking the video before you go, okay? Please like the video. Liking the video gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the show. So please like the video. That helps a lot. And if you're new, subscribe. And those of you that have subscribed today, welcome to the program. All right, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you this afternoon on the podcast. Take care.